Welcome to Ping Pong Dreams, where stories are told from the heart, where pain isn't hidden, and where perseverance rises like a heroic ballad without the need for trumpets or cheers. Today, I want to bring you closer to a special figure, a woman who walked through prejudice and doubt and fought not to prove anything to the world, but to honor a promise she made to herself. She is Liu Shiwen, a petite woman carrying a fire that never fades, a silent warrior in the dazzling world of table tennis. Liu Shiwen doesn't have the powerful physique of Ding Ning, nor the explosive arms of Li Xiaoyu, and certainly not the height or wingspan of modern players. Standing just over 1.60 meters, light as the wind, fragile at a glance, no one would believe she could hold her ground against the storm of power loops and counterattacks. But inside that small frame burned a quiet strength, like fire smoldering beneath the earth, persistent, invisible, and unstoppable. From the very beginning of her career, Liu Shiwen showed signs of brilliance. Her footwork was lightning quick, her strokes sharp and fast, her reflexes almost electric. Coaches called her a shining gem, a symbol of modern, technical table tennis. Yet alongside praise came doubt, because her body was too slim, her shoulders too narrow, her face too gentle. Within the Chinese national team, where each Olympic spot is dissected down to the tiniest margin, Liu Shiwen consistently ranked among the elite. She held the #1 world ranking for years. She won 5 World Cup titles, a record in women's table tennis. Yet every time the Olympic singles lineup was revealed, her name was not there. The first time, she cried. The second time, she fell silent. The third time, she smiled. Not because she gave up, but because she knew if she wanted another chance, there was only one thing she could do: keep fighting. They said Liu Shiwen was mentally weak, that in the biggest moments she lacked composure, that she didn't have the aura of an Olympic champion. But how could they understand the nights she trained alone in silence? How many times she cried quietly after being benched again? No one knew, and she didn't need them to, because Liu Shiwen never lived to please the crowd. She lived to keep a promise: she would not fall. In 2019, after more than a decade of rejection, Liu stepped onto the World Championships court with nothing to lose. No more fear, no more doubt. She played as if the future didn't matter. She swept through elite opponents, including Ding Ning, the teammate once chosen over her. Then in the final, she beat Chen Meng and won her first ever women's singles world championship. That victory came late, but bloomed like a poem. When the final ball stopped, she didn't scream. She didn't leap in joy. She simply dropped to her knees, buried her face in her hands, and cried. Not the tears of a champion, but the tears of someone who had waited too long to finally be seen. 10 years of perseverance, 10 years of rejection, 10 years of training in the dark. It all broke loose in that moment. This wasn't just a win on paper, it was a victory of the soul. But fate is never simple. After that shining moment, Liu suffered a severe elbow injury. She had to stop playing for months. Doctors said the chances of returning to top-level play were slim. Many believed it was the end. But not Liu. For her, it was just another challenge. She quietly relearned how to play. She changed her technique, adjusted every angle to protect her arm, and even when the pain robbed her of sleep, she never stopped. During this painful journey, Liu turned to meditation. She wrote in her journal she learned how to forgive herself, and one day she wrote, "I don't need to be #1 anymore. I just want to play, even if it's only once more." A simple line, but it hit like a storm. Not born from ambition, but from love. Then came the Tokyo Olympics 2021. Liu was selected to play mixed doubles with Xu Xin. In the final, they faced Japan's Mizutani Ito. It became one of the most unforgettable matches in Olympic table tennis. Liu played like a wounded lion, brave, fearless, even though her arm wasn't fully healed. But they lost. For the first time, China failed to win gold in Olympic mixed doubles, and the one most criticized was Liu Shiwen. She lowered her head and cried as she accepted the silver medal. But this time, her tears weren't helpless. They were the tears of a warrior who had given her all. People could debate strategies, team selections, or mistakes, but no one could deny. Liu Shiwen played with her entire heart. She didn't lose to fear. She lost because her body couldn't chase the dream any longer. After Tokyo, Liu gradually faded from the international scene. no retirement announcement. No farewell match, just a quiet exit, one final bow, tears in her eyes, like a soft closing note ending a legendary song. And yet, some athletes never disappear. Even if they're not on screen anymore, their spirit lives on. Some, even without Olympic gold, become eternal. Because they don't just win matches, they light fires in others. Fires of courage, persistence, and hope. Liu Shiwen is one of them. She once said, "I know I'm not the perfect image in everyone's eyes, but I'm myself, and I don't need to be anyone else." A young coach once reflected, "I used to believe strength was everything in modern table tennis, until I watched Liu Shiwen play. Then I understood what it means to have an artist's soul in sport." Today, she's no longer on magazine covers, but in training halls, she sits quietly in the corner, observing young talents. One day, a little girl asked, "Coach Shiwen, if you could go back in time, would you want to be taller, stronger, so you could have played singles in the Olympics?" She smiled gently and replied, "No, because if I were taller, stronger, maybe I wouldn't be Liu Shiwen anymore. And I love the person I became." Liu Shiwen doesn't need more titles to be a legend. She just needed to be herself, a silent warrior, a hero who never needed to shout. In the long story of table tennis, there will always be a chapter with her name, not because she won with brute strength, but because she won with unwavering spirit. She taught us that silence doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes, in silence, we touch something higher than victory. Thank you for listening to this story on Ping Pong Dreams. If Liu Shiwen's quiet strength touched your heart, share this episode with someone who needs the courage to keep going. We'll meet again in the next story, where sports are not just about medals, but about the beautiful, painful, triumphant journeys behind them. Ping Pong Dreams, stories told from the heart.